Hi everyone. So I just want to go over some information that's really important for you to come to class with. So make sure you read these chapters. It's a lot of reading, but make sure you read them. We're not going to meet again until Thursday, so you should have time to do this reading and listening to videos. These two documents, this document right here, patch document, is over 400 pages long. You should not read that, but you should download it and save it because you could use it at some point in your future. It's very specific. It goes through tons of information about how to plan. And it's the actual document from the federal government. It's from the Centers for Disease Control. Then this document is also a free document from the government. This is a 45-page document that goes over MAP. So both of these items in the reading material are very, very important for you to consider in the next steps of your second paper. So when we get down here, worksheets for possible use, when we come to class on Thursday, you will need to be prepared to discuss these two sheets. So the first one is a community planning sheet. Now remember, in the slide presentation we talked about, you're not going to need everything. But you need some things. So what this sheet does is it actually starts to ask you a series of questions that you should know the answer to. And when you come to class, I'm going to ask you to share some of this information. So you should know whether your community is going to be urban, rural, suburban, or other. You should know what state it's in, possibly what counties, cities, zip codes. You need to start to really pinpoint where you want to be working. And you might not know the exact location by Thursday, but you need to have a good idea of what you're thinking. So here's an example, age distribution in years. So is it important for your grant to know the breakdown? Thinking about, I think both grants want you to work with specific age populations. So is it in your benefit to know then the age breakout for your community, for the state? This tells you how many household sizes, the number of persons in the household. This is income levels. I think for both of your grants, knowing the annual income would be helpful, and you're going to want median income and not the average or mean. Marital status, I'm not sure that's beneficial to both grants. Race and ethnic composition is important for both grants. Education levels, probably important. This asks you for some unique health events that may or may not be important. And this goes on and on and on. So for example, you have a heart disease grant. So that would be really important for you to have. And then asthma's not on here. So you could add asthma at other, and you could find out, for your community, where does asthma fall in relation to deaths or years. This is years per person lost. So they die before the age of 75. How many years have they lost of their life? So more information. This is causes of death by different age groups, which might be helpful. Mortality rates, and it goes on and on and on. I want you to look through this document, and I want you to come back with some ideas on what you might be able to use in this document. And I'm going to ask you to share that on Thursday when we officially meet. The next document is the next document consists of these worksheets. Again, this comes out of the 465-page document. So these are steps. So patch phase 1, define your community. Who is your community? What are some forms of data you might need? This is like a checklist. Which you should come to class with some items checked. What would be good things for you to have for your community analysis? Do you need mortality, morbidity? Do you need community opinions? Do you need behaviors? This is phase 3, choosing health priorities. You would want to look at the data for your population and your disease, and it talks about different things. So on this item, I want you to look through it, knowing what you know about your grant, and I want you to check off the items that would be helpful for you, possibly to use when you're describing your community. And then those are the items that you need to come to class prepared. So you should have looked at this triangle. I shared that with you in a slide presentation. Here's the slide presentation. I think it's over 40 minutes long, and you should watch it in pieces. The reading assignments, then just skim over these two huge documents. And then for class, these worksheets you need to have ready so that you will be able to come prepared to talk about the items in these worksheets that you might be able to use in your paper. So that concludes this really brief lecture. I look forward to hearing about your papers and your ideas. Have a great evening.